Give an ideal weight for Cole. I'll get you one.
I require one train car. Look, Nova MS sticking to what worked so far. Talon are going to opt off the Sombra, putting Naputo back onto the Zarya.
I think as well, knowing that Nova MS aren't going to do anything different than maybe the Sombra Goats here, they can afford to just play the regular Ryan version. It scales quite well onto B as well. Again, eyes on one. He doesn't have another Sombra to contest with on the other side, so should feel free to find some interesting angles, get that quick EMP up.
Ada stun, able to get out alive, but man, that keeps happening. Honestly, Bashful's doing such a great job of playing point guard here.
And I think one's already halfway there, so he's doing a decent job. Pudo's hacked out.
There's that stun again though. One able to just barely give them the slip this time, but it means he doesn't get much more ult charge. This is a bit of room to maneuver for Talon.
It's just targeting in 65% of count. Team Talon Esports need to find their pick. They need to find their progress.
Oh, and unfortunately it's Muse that goes down, and that's without the EMP even being a factor yet here for one. Now in trouble. Yeah, this is getting really wild. He is going to commit an EMP. They don't want to muck about with this one. They were about to lose him. They had picked up Bashful, but they want to make sure they secure the fight. They rotate into the rest of their ultimates. Nova MS off to the opening defensive lead they need.
And that's a valuable use of the EMP as well. It guarantees you secure that defense. It guarantees you don't lose a single tick. And it gets you the other ultimates. The other 5 are about to be at 100%. Talon Esports are working towards it. But even if they get them, it doesn't really match. And better yet, in some ways, one kind of goes on the D.Va, which is a safe play.
And that's the thing, they don't actually need to sit on a Sombra here right now. They can just match 3-3, having got an ultimate lead here. You can preserve that ultimate lead if you play the 3-3 effectively.
Yeah, it feels like they got the early advantage with the Sombra, cashed it and said, that's enough for me. Don't need any more gambling. I just want to walk out with my money. And Talon Esports still just waiting to walk in.
Half the time already gone off the clock with Nova MS already coming into this fight with an advantage. That's Grab out charging on Muse. He is in a bit of trouble. It's going to be some transcendences either side of the fence there. Talon members getting a little bit low, have to commit a sound barrier now.
Oh, it's a big one!
Huge one onto the back 3. Able to follow up a Pudo, charge on in. Gets the mech against the wall, might just be able to demech Agora. Knows better than to commit a self-destruct in this instance. And that was what Nova needed. Did have to use a lot in that fight though, so they come into this next one a little lean.
That's a big cha-ching right there. Cash register opens up. Nova MS take all that cash. And this is now looking so good for them. 1 minute 30 still remaining. Talon Esports still need a little bit more to get past this first place. Still do not have a single tick on that point. Still do not have any progress. That's a bit of a problem. It's going to slow them down significantly considering if we get past this point and get on to B.
Coming into an Earth Shatter though from Muse. He does lead Nexus by just a little bit. That's going to have to be a difference maker here. Like I said, Nova MS not a lot to work with here. Self-destruct with 1. Going to commit it very early in the fight. And I mean, far away from Talon as well.
Nexus has another shatter here as well, so does Muse.
Self-destruct laid forward from Gagora. Does a much better job of separating out the team. Bubukar's down.
That's 4.
It's huge out of Nexus. That is such a turnaround play right there. Already picking up 2 kills, one of which is Muse. Now they want to run some members down. They're going to get in. Might be able to finish off a Pudo here in the retreat, but even if you don't, you'll take CQB instead. That is a good fight for Nova. Just getting that old economy back underway.
And that 4 minutes disappears so quickly. We're now down to nearly 30 seconds. Talon Esports, where's your ultimates? You're coming online for maybe a Transcendence. Oh, you've already got one. On top of that, they got a Graviton Surge as well. You don't have one of those, so you don't have an offensive tool. You have a defensive tool that gets matched by Nova MS. It doesn't look like you have a lot of ways to win.
That's the thing, Nova MS, it feels like they've got all the keys to the kingdom. They need only unlock the door and sit on the throne right now. NN does have that one counter to the grab, but Nova MS, they've still got other things to work with here.
It's going to be so tough. Point is in. Grav is on 2.
There's that Transcendence, but they charge up Bashful. They've still got a kill lead. It's very early Transcendence out of Oyo because they've decided we want to press the advantage. We're not going to wait around for Grav.
Oh,
Indeed, we're not going to let Pudo charge it up. He's down. Stun on Muse. He's down. Gagora, D-Max. He's going to go down. CQB in trouble. That's going to be a whole hold, a full shutout. We said Nova MS needed to turn it around, kick it into gear after the break. 4 minutes to only get a third. It is looking like they have found that higher gear.
It's absolutely insane how quickly this has turned around, and it doesn't seem even close right now. This is, if you think about Nepal as a bit of a microcosm, this is what it looks like expanded. On the next 3 maps, you've had one map go completely the way of Talon. This one now starting to look like it will be a complete wash in favor of Nova MS. This series has been so insanely back and forth, and not in the way that you'd expect as well. It's just one map being completely owned by one team and then swapping sides.
Like I said, only need to get a third. The thing, though, is if they don't get that, and this is still the very real threat for all that hard work, if they don't actually get a third, if Talon pull out a great defense, then they win by default because it would be a tie.
Nova would, I don't know, they would have to walk out with only one. Someone would have to disconnect and never come back. I mean, it's starting to look like, as the attacker, see, there's so many advantages working for you. This A point is not easy to defend, and yet Nova MS have done it. Talon Esports took so long to get the gear into action, never found really any advantages. Nexus double shatters back-to-back that really just completely destroyed Talon Esports. Nothing like that ever happened for Talon on that offense, and when you see what the kind of defense is available for Talon Esports now, this time no Sombras. Well, in fact, they didn't run Sombras anyway, but Nova MS, they have all the options. They have the attackers, they have that compositional swap advantage, they have the closer respawns. You said keys to the kingdom, I mean, they haven't let go of those keys.
And approaching the lock. It's probably going to be a bit of scouting. I'm not really sure what Nova MS are going for here.
They can do anything. Again, they just have all of the choice available.
They need to not squander the time. That was just scouting out a Sombra for the most part. So here we go. They're going to come out on a quad DPS.
I mean, they're going to do what Cyclone Coupling did to Global Esports, and Global Esports said, we're not going to run anything that can counter a Pharah, and guess what? The Pharah appears.
So the Pharah's been revealed, but the other DPSs still have not. They also know there's a Mercy here, but now the rest of them start to be revealed. And that's the thing. They were scouting the Sombra because they know without a Sombra, Talon won't know what's coming.
This is just really difficult now. There's not even a Winston, so you can't even pressure members out. You're hiding a bit. The longer you hide, and there's only one tick, so point pressure is so big.
Look at how low these members are. They step out onto the point, they eat a rocket, and it's just one too many for Muse. He's down, in and down. The groundwork laid. They need to only roll over the red carpet now. Nexus getting one onto Bashful, and that's going to be that pretty much in the bag now. Like I said, keys to the kingdom. They may not be king just yet, but they have certainly picked up Volskaya Industries. By my days, it is in one of the most one-sided ways imaginable. This series is far from over.
And they may not be kinged just yet, but they are making a real claim for the throne at the moment, because you felt like at 2-0 map score for Talon Esports, yeah, the 3 shouldn't be that hard to take. Yeah, it's pretty hard to take.
As it turns out, right? I mean, hey, Nova MS, the only team so far to complete a reverse sweep in this season. Maybe they're going to do a 2 for here. Maybe this will be their second one. And I mean, this attack was just gorgeous. This is excellent crossfire. You're peppering shots in. You've got 2 highly mobile flankers that can duck and weave in and out between the Sombra and the Tracer. Oyo is raining damage in. If anyone steps out, one's going to land some rockets. There's no good way for Talon to answer this.
And we just saw Global Esports being dismantled twice in a row on that A-point defense by Cyclone Coupling's ability to run these DPS comps to completely take down that defense. And we see it once again. It's like, you know, history repeats itself, except worse, because at least that version had a Winston.
Yeah.
At least they had 2 attempts there. This one was like 1 tick only. That was, you need to kept the whole thing 100%. This one, 33 is fine.
Yeah.
Everything working in the favor of Nova MS. Whole respawn advantage, everything. I named all of it before, but that it just everything works in their favor. And for Talon, backed themselves up into a corner and just kind of rolled over.
And that's the thing. Suddenly, after what felt like a bit of a slog through the first 2 maps there, with these teams really going back and forth, suddenly we're over our assault very, very quickly. We go straight into Watchpoint Gibraltar with Nova honestly coming in hot. If anything, as much as we're going to reset a map, it still kind of feels like with the momentum of the series, it's still actually on Talon to slow Nova MS down here.
And I think if Talon can just reset mentally and say, okay, that was one map, match point is still in our favor, not theirs. We're not at map 5. They have to take us to map 5. We can still prevent them from doing that. Even if we go to map 5, yeah, we're still in match point. No, Talon should still feel reasonably confident right now, comfortable as well. They just need to make sure that mentally they're still in the game and they haven't allowed this one loss to really hurt them.
Hard as loss as it may have been, absolutely. You've got to pick yourself back up, reset, didn't happen, still in the lead. Watchpoint Gibraltar. The thing that does alarm me about this just a little bit, though, is how that Blizzard World went, insofar as the failure to cap is one part of it. I suppose maybe you can look at the other side of that in that We haven't actually seen how Nova MS do on the more mobile part of that. It could be that they will have an incredibly dominant attack, and if they could just shore up the defense a little bit, could see an equally one-sided affair as what we just saw on Volskaya.
So I think two things are clear right now for Nova MS. One is that if they do play Sombra, they can still get insane value. I think one has been, for pure ult charge rate, especially in neutral fights, probably the most successful Sombra that we've seen so far in the tournament. His ability to get an EMP in that one engagement. I don't think I've seen another Sombra so far do that here in this exact tournament
too.
And not only that, but they're also showing they can win without it. One goes on the Diva, guess what? They even win then. So they're showing multiple avenues where they can find victories, and that is important.
All right, Nepal takes us high, Blizzard World takes us low, Volskaya takes us cold, and Gibraltar takes us temperate. Warm Mediterranean climb. So, who benefits from that one, I wonder?
And this is that aspect of Nova MS that we saw towards the end of that Volskaya defense as well. Very capable of just playing a standard 3-3 in. This version is the ideal version because it puts Craziest on Diva, puts one on his Zarya as well. This is kind of the stock standard default, and Talon are going to match that one.
No halt hook to come out initially for Talon. Just going to swap off to a 3-3s. Pretty bog standard.
And teams should be expecting that, so you shouldn't see it work most of the time. It should be quite rare. And indeed, in this case, it has been rare. Carter's moving quite steadily right now, and Nova MS do need to respond.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of ult charge to speak of on either side of the fence here either, so that's not going to have too much impact. So Talon are just going to move around the high ground now. They want to try and get a kill, displace Nova, create some more space for the carts.
And I think as the rotation comes through, cart control is kind of gone. As you do start to see Gagora there approaching, but as he does, Nova MS think maybe we can take him down.
Yeah, they need to be careful to not let themselves get split here, though. Nova, they moved for the cart, and Talon saw an opportunity. Trade back, though, onto Bashful, very critical, but Nova MS, they're still hemorrhaging health here, and not really in a position to finish off any members of Talon. Only in, and this is a closer respawn for Talon anyway. So, Talon getting a massive fight win there, seeing an opportunity, pouncing upon Nova, and absolutely tearing them to shreds.
And in and staying alive on basically no HP, picks up so many kills, does so much damage. He's going to get us Transcendence in no time. One actually does have a Graviton Surge available, but Cart's nearly at the end.
They're barely able to commit to this. They actually haven't fully reset and respawned, so this is just throwing bodies, and that's just throwing ultimate charge to Talon. I think that was unnecessary.
And I think if one was there in time to use the Graviton Surge, it would have at least forced out one of the two support ultimates, probably the Transcendence. That's something that maybe Nova can work with, but Talon just get to walk into B with everything charging up. Nearly 5, nearly even 6 once Bashful gets there.
And Nova are close, don't get me wrong, they're close to those same ultimates, but they're not actually there, and Talon are. And that's all you really need. That's how you get momentum in the ult economy. Grab out from one. They do get a good isolation, though, on a Pudo. And Bashful as well, who's barely staying alive with the rally. Muse has gone ahead to commit a Primal Rage, but with the Transcendence in from Oyo, he's not able to get a whole lot done.
And there needs to be more done as well. Nova MS have gotten a start. They are starting to get control right now, but Talon are striking back.
Self-destruct forward from Gagora, doesn't find anything, and in uses his Transcendence here. Apudo's still got a grab that they're waiting on committing with that sound barrier running. Primal Rage, but no kill. So now it's Apudo's turn to hit back. They've got the grab with Nova MS not having an answer. And a lot of low health bars. There it goes out. 1 for 1 so far. In and in trouble. Nexus low. Crazy as self-destruct if he needs it. Will commit it now. And Apudo so low has the back right off. Muse gets one. This is all over the show. But finally Talon starts to get the kills coming in. And when all was said and done, they had just a few more. This is Muse's second Primal Rage in this fight.
Well, this has been a slowdown as well, considerable slowdown for Talon Esports. Only now getting that cart moving in. Nova MS do get a long chance to get those respawns in, regroup as well. Ultimate's basically evened out. In fact, Nova MS are actually slightly ahead at this rate. That's a big turnaround.
And that was important for them. As much as Talon had more when the fight was all over and done with, they had to use those ultimates to close the fight out. Excellent aggression onto Gagora. Huge D-Mech there to open things out. Nova MS should be able to finish charging up ultimates here. And it's going to commit a Transcendence that don't want to let this fight roll over.
Look at one. He's nearly got the Graviton Surge, and now there's no counter.
That's the thing. Oyo's committed his Transcendence as well, but if Nova MS can take the fight win, then it's not going to matter much. There's the grab out onto all these members. Surge damage coming out. Counter grab. Apudo's down, though. Gogora D-mech'd again. Muse low, and they will steer clear through that one. Had to use the sound barrier to counter out Apudo's grab, but all's well that ends well. The Nova MS able to start to entrench now on the defense.
Yeah, but speaking of sound barrier, I mean, CQB was alive. He had his one, didn't use it. And Talon Esports going to give up that fight, and this is a big reset on the offense. And it really hurts them because now Nova MS get positioning. They get to dictate the next fight. That's very important. Talon Esports have to walk into all of this. Kart's going to start sliding back as well.
Talon got a little bit of climbing back up to do. Nova MS just looking for the opening on the fight here. There's the sound barrier. Only connects on 3 members. Amuse early primal rage. Jervis, though, he's low. He goes down. That's an opening. That might be all Talon needs, especially with a stun coming out onto one. Self-destruct from Crazy S. It's going to have to be big because Muse is absolutely dominating that kill feed. Nexus not really getting the same kind of mileage. Bubukar down. Muse gets his 4th at the fight. Late Transcendence on in. Feels like it was more to save his own skin than to help win the fight. But at any rate, it is done. And Talon are back in possession of the card.
And this is now looking like it could be a camp. Talon Nova do spawn reasonably close, though. They got stuff to use. Transcendence nearly online, but they have to actually touch the cart.
They're not actually all back here yet. Oh, yo, just in the nick of time. Self-destruct, though. They've got no good shielding here. It's only going to get Jervis, but they're still not in a favored situation. That counter grab's got to be big. They get Muse. Gogora, they get him out of the mech as well. Nova MS, now they've got a numbers advantage. Nexus is rejoined. Apudo goes down. They end up having that gamble pay off. They survive the grab from Apudo. They get more out of their own from one, and suddenly Nova MS have stopped the cart again.
And this is a very dangerous place for the cart to be stopped. You'd like to think, okay, it's very close to the end, but the problem is we are nearly into the overtime, about 1 minute remaining. The other thing is, the closer that cart is to the end, the better the respawn advantage for the defenders, and Nova MS are in control. They have that advantage now, and they have the possibility to drag this into the overtime as well.
Only caveat to all that is Muse has a primal rage when Nexus does not. Nova MS only have a self-destruct, and that a defense does not make. It's going to really come down to who secures what kills, and we saw what Muse could do last time. He had a primal rage. Oh, yo! Oh, raising my heart rate. No, he is going to go down. Muse gets the work done. You can rely on this guy. Sound barrier out from Jervis, matched by CQB. One's grab. There it is. In. Oh, Transcendence in the nick of time, but self-destruct underneath the bubble. Gets 3, and that's going to anchor the defense. 20 seconds on the clock as Talon get absolutely destroyed.
Worst case scenario as well. Double defensive ultimates being used by Talon Esports. Muse now changing onto the Rhine. Apudo dies before he can get a Graviton Surge, so no counterplay from him. And now it's that nightmare scenario for them as well. Less than 10 seconds remaining. Definitely going to go into the overtime this time, and Nova MS are still cycling into more ults.
You get to this cart, you throw out the grab, but Oyo's gone.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't even get to throw out the grab. Oyo gets to use this to help get aggressive, and they're going to keep Talon off the cart, secure the hold. Beautiful from Nova.
And this is now them leveling up. This is them really powering up now. They're saying it's second half, it's our time. The later this series goes, the better we get. And even if this does go to a map 5, you got to start thinking, Talon Esports, they're losing their grip on this match. It's getting out of hand for them. They now have to have such a good defense to even take us there. Rather for it to not go there.
Yeah.
Close out the series, the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, man, Nova, for how rough A seemed, it just seemed like they were unsure of how to play, how to position Talon. They were able to create opportunities. Nova MS gave some opportunities and a bit of a questionable re-engage as well late in that fight. But, oh man, when they did that same late re-engage on B, that paid off big time.
And it's that last fight as well, not the very last one. It's the one where the cart reaches towards the finish line. Nova barely touch in time. One gets that late counter grab that starts to pick up a couple of members, and then they're able to just rescue it. That's when things start to turn around. I believe this might be
this is them keeping them off the cart as well. So you get the grab eat because Crazy S comes in from behind.
Oh, wow.
That's the one position you can't account for. You don't know where the Diva is. You actually think the Diva's not there, and you get a little bit taken by surprise.
Call that the old defensive matrix reach around. Just steals that ball away.
All right.
I don't know what you're thinking about. I was talking about basketball. Where's your mind going,
no,
mate?
I got that. I got that. I was thinking about basketball.
I'm sure you were.
I just think basketball is a very lurid sport.
Wow, you didn't need to share that.
Halt hook, not going to come through.
Expectedly.
Now we're going to make the change.
You got to try it. You always got to see if it works.
Give it a punch.
Very rare, but I mean, it did work earlier on.
We saw it earlier tonight. If it does work, you get a bit of a freebie fight early on in this in the map as well. So that's a great charge in, catching CQB early. It's not a whole hook that'll do it, but they still get the entry frag.
Talon Esports just seeing if they can just wait a little bit longer, and they're giving away a lot of position here as they do have to wait for CQB.
Nova need to be careful. They kind of let Talon take a counter dive here onto Oyo. Now they're split up. They actually need to regroup here. Keeping good pressure though, they are going to answer by picking up a Pudo. So it has paid off still.
Okada's got a decent amount of movement at this rate. Nova MS still have positioning, that's very important for them. Still good counter trades.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wacky one to lose one, but Oyo's just respawned. He's back with the team, and Nova MS have preserved a numbers advantage with Talon having a much longer march to get back to this. So in pretty good time. Indeed, arguably better time than what Talon did. Nova MS are going to cap now 5:22 to get to the end of B.
I think it is definitely a better time. With 5:22, like you mentioned, I mean, they have the world to work with. It just starts to feel like Volskaya attack all over again. And look at this, ultimate's coming online. Graviton Surge,
Here comes one.
quicker than a Pudo as well. You need to really see and get this Transcendence in time, because if he goes down or he misuses it or doesn't have it, I mean, things go so poorly.
And even then, no Reinhardt's here. If they can get another one like they did on the defense thread, they need to get the self-destruct under the bubble from the Winston. Can still kill people despite the Transcendence. I like this aggression from Talon. They're going to force something out of Nova, potentially stun on Oyo. Stays alive.
Okay.
Bashful's down, overextension, but they answer one back. They get Oyo. Forces a sound barrier from Jervis, and now Talon having to commit some ultimates of their own. Maybe not what they were wanting. Double grab, either side. Self-destruct out. Who's going to get what? It's Crazy yes, he's the one who gets it. Gagora's was just outside of the bubble from Nexus, and that means Talon losing that fight. They might not be able to get back to the cart because it was moving during that fight.
Oh my goodness, look how close it is right now. Talon Esports need their respawners, and they need to jump back on.
Just barely getting on in the nick of time. Nice stun onto Crazy yes, but Oyo close to a Transcendence. Muse, Primal Rage. It's paid off in the past, but will it pay off this time? Because there's a sound barrier from CQB. That's all they had to go off, and it doesn't save a Pudo. Now Transcendence from Oyo to keep Nova topped up as that Primal Rage runs out. In, gets finished off. Stun on Budokai is not followed up on. The one on Bashful is. CQB's down. Muse and Apudo, last bastions of resistance on this point. They're going to go down. Sorry, Muse and Gagora, but not anymore. The cap to come out. We are going to a tiebreaker.
And I hope you didn't have to go anywhere tonight. It's going to be a long one. 2 back-to-back full 5-map series. And Nova MSA, we are the team that are going to be able to take this if it goes like the best, I like to say now, late game or late match team that we have ever seen in this tournament. 2-2 apiece. And Control, we look at Nepal, we say that one could have gone either way. I think we got a Lee Jung, and I still say that could go either way.
But the thing that now sticks out in my mind is this is a decidedly dominant Nova MS. This is a Nova MS that has had exceedingly one-sided performances in the last 2 maps, and I am reminded of our very first map on Nepal that was a 100-0 shutout. Even though they lost that map, that's the Nova I think we're seeing in this half of the series. That's the Nova that comes into Lijiang Tower. That's a Nova that still shut out Talon.
And I think we need to see the version of Talon that had that 100-0 shutout as well. Yeah, they had pocket stretch, but if they got any more, they better bring it out right now.
Deep pockets.
They need to also bring out the kind of capability they showed on Blizzard World as well. We know that Talon is here. We know that version of Talon does exist. And they're going to need to take a little bit of time to see if they can dig it out right now, because they need as much as they can. We will, of course, once again, take a little bit of a break before we head into map 5, so hold on to your seats. It's going to be a bumpy ride. We'll see you soon. Back everyone to Overwatch Contenders Pacific Season 1 here, and it's been a really close night of really fantastic competition as well. We are about to enter our second consecutive 5th map entry here. This time around, it's Talon Esports taking on Nova MS, and it's a little bit different to what we saw early in the evening, which was kind of back and forth. This is back and forth, but in a different way. It's a reverse sweep scenario.
Yeah, it's back and forth in that the first half was back and the second half was forth, so that's all.
Or the other, vice versa. It works both ways, I think.
Doesn't quite work to say like, oh, like forth and back. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
It is if you're Talon, because you went forward and now you're back.
Yeah, yeah, so, right, yeah. They were doing great, and where did that all go?
I mean, we're telling Nova were doing not so great, and now suddenly they're here. I don't know, they kind of woke up.
It's the Nova magic. I don't know how they managed to do this so consistently.
And the problem is that if they keep doing this, eventually they're going to get 3-0, and then they'll get the last map, and it's too late.
I mean, this is the team, though, like every time we end up at the end of a first half where one team is 2-0 up, look, a lot of the time it becomes a 3-1 or a 4-0. But this is the team that is a lot of the reason we always say, look, this team could still kick it into gear, could still see a reverse sweep, could still see a lot of this. Because, I mean, it happens. It happens often enough. I mean, we've even had times where they've gone down 0-2, they've picked up the next 2, they've still gone on to lose. But again, the capacity is there. Just because you're down 0-2 at the first half of the series does not in any way, shape, or form count you out. And now, suddenly, you might as well just be in a best of 1.
And it sounds like for other teams, we're kind of saying it as a bit of a token gesture. But for Nova MS, we're like dead serious. Because,
all right, now we're in the second. Now the game really begins.
This is their 3rd 5-map series this season out of 5 weeks. The other 2 were 3-1. So they've not played ever like a 4-0 perfect series. It's always been a little bit of here or there. And the fact that they go to this many map 5s, and they even versus Cyclone Coupling, if I'm not mistaken, they started to win the last couple maps and then couldn't take the 5th one. And then they did versus Global Esports. And now we don't know. It could still go either way. We actually have no idea walking into Lijiang what it looks like, because I think Talon, they have the control victory on Nepal. I think that would speak to their ability to win control again, but momentum is in the favor of Nova MS, so you have 2 opposite forces that are meeting now.
And for what it's worth as well, when you look at them beating Global Esports, like I'm not even talking about the reverse sweep here, if they go on to beat Talon here as well, you've got to start to consider maybe this is the best team in the region right now. Maybe Nova MS, not last week notwithstanding, suddenly that puts them tied for 1st. Suddenly it has them beating the previous front runner and having beaten a lot of the other supposed best teams in the tournament. Suddenly you've got to hand the mantle to them. And I think that's not there yet.
And I think, you know, this is the season so far where every single top team, and I'm talking about everyone in the top 6 right now, has just been easily taking games off each other. Maybe more like top 5. Xavier are kind of starting to move in, but they got a little whiles to go. The other 5, though, it's been totally back and forth, and the only team at the top that has been participating in that is Talon, and Nova is saying it's time to give.
Yep. Got to drop some sometime. Unless you just win the whole tournament undefeated. I don't know. Doesn't really happen a lot, but like we said, all of that, it's not there just yet. Nova MS, they still need to confirm the reverse sweep, still need to get it across the line.
Bashful and Talon say, look, you brought out the Fire of the Sky, we're going to bring it out on Lijiang right now. And this is going to be now seeing if Nova can respond correctly. They're going to hide in the hole for now, but one needs to find some value. If you can get a hack on someone like Bashful, it'll be good.
Bashful and Aputo as well, getting a chunk of ultimate charge. It's probably the first time I've actually seen Aputo leading one in ult charge in the opening skirmish. Oh, Jiminy Christmas.
That is an incredible duel to win as well. Very important. Now, Talon Esports can just clean up this map and clean up the point rather than get an early cap.
Yeah, hack on Crazy S. Oyo's going to go down in and again, getting that one with a headshot. Look at this guy go. The real carry of Talon right now does go down. Aputo may go down here. Yeah, just barely. But look, the damage has been done on the side of Nova. Talon are going to be able to secure this point. Even though Nova got a bit of an early grab on there, it's going to be Talon's.
So this is the difficult place for Nova to be in because they're already more than halfway to the EMP. Probably one just wants to stay on right now. Nova actually got the first cap, which is quite interesting, and now they're trying to hold on to this cap as much as they can.
Yeah, they might as well extend the percentage, right? They realize that they're probably going to lose this, but they might actually not at this rate. Bashful committed the rocket barrage and is really, really low. Muse is super low. He's got a little bit of shield to go on here, but Nova MS are coming in. Both the EMPs available. Talon are actually kind of resetting here.
This is quite surprising. Could be a boot kill here. Ooh.
Oh, it is, and it's a big one too. Suddenly, oh my goodness! Jarvis! And that's with Eden channeling the Transcendence. Nova MS, it looked like that was just a little bit of free percentage before Talon got to the point, but nah, man, this is a lead.
Bookmark that one, clip it. That's a highlight reel right there, and Jervis knows it. Caught that one on stream, and Nova MS, it's just going so well. It started so poorly, and now the EMP again available for both teams, but it's Nova MS that control the point, so as long as this gets dragged out further and further, they got to head towards overtime.
And it means Bashful's got to go off the Farah. It didn't work. One to get hacked out. Huge self-destruct. Gagora, they managed to get that one over the line. Talon to get a fight back just as hard as what Nova MS can do.
It should be a cleanup now. Crazy is the last person that can maybe extend this. We're looking for 80%. Should be able to get this one. The good news for Nova MS is because Talon were kind of desperate to get this point flipped over, they used a lot of ultimates. EMP's definitely gone. One holding on just means Nova MS, if they camp this one, they can definitely push it to 99 and then maybe secure Gardens.
Talon aren't even close to anything here. Like, not even at 50%. Muse only just getting there now. Hacked, ooh.
One man?
That only got Muse. That's a little bit awkward. They still get a right-click hack on Gagora and they finish off NN with a Primal Rage, but that ended up being a lot committed for Nova MS for what is a very sloggy kind of fight, which has actually allowed Talon to charge up some ultimates that they might not have had for what will be this next fight.
And I think Nova MS should be quite fortunate to even consider winning this fight because a one-person EMP onto Muse and then you know, the regular hack just onto Gagora afterwards, not very ideal. Kind of forced, like you mentioned, the other ultimates come through as well. Talon have some opportunity.
Nexus 8 is done. They're nearly a dangerous one. Self-destruct, layered forward, Bashful, isolated,
Touch the point.
This is very nicely done from Nova. They're trying to stop Talon from even fighting on the point. Someone's had to dive for it. They isolate Gagora off to the side. They'd already killed Bashful. Divide and conquer. And here is the second part of that adage. Talon, they've not got a lot to go on here. It's just a transcendence on the point, and this will not be a transcendental experience for them. It is going to be a very grounded, very gritty, very dangerous one for them as Nova MS are going to kick off Lijiang Tower with a lead.
And for the first time in this current series as well, Talon Esports find themselves behind in terms of score. Yes, it is technically 2-2 in match score, but on Lijiang, it's 1-0 to Nova. Nova have taken the lead. It's taken some time, but they've won everything in a row to get here. Going on to Control Center now, both teams likely to go for the 3-3 goats, but Crazy is hovering over to the May. Is this how they're going to do it? Is this going to be the repeat performance that we saw from Cyclone Company, who did the exact same thing?
They've done it before. I'm reminded of Season 3 finals where Hong Kong Attitude did it to Nova at the time, and seems like they've learned from the best. Let's see if it works.
I guess who is from Hong Kong Attitude on the other side of that?
Yeah.
CQB's thinking, hang on a second.
I've seen this before. Crazy S committing to it. Hiding it for just a brief fraction of a second. Now here it comes out the point. There's the isolation, trying to get onto Muse. Good bubble onto him though, not going to go down.
Waiting to see what
Nexus
comes through. Yep, that's damage indeed.
And then the stun onto Bubukai. He's going to go down. Talon off to the start they need in this fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if Crazy S swaps off after this.
You can see as well the rotation from Talon Esports. They don't take that kind of high ground-ish rotation. They go straight towards the point. That means you're not going to get as high a value of a May wall because you can walk around it. If they walk on that high ground section, as well as Nova MS, that's when the May is going to get a lot more value. Yeah. This is now going to be a good start for Talon Esports. Much harder for Nova MS to push in with the May than it is to be defending with it once you cap.
They're deciding they're committing to it though. They feel, hey, if we can at least just get one, if we can get the cap, then we're in business. So, rotating around onto the point.
Well, he's halfway and more for Blizzard, so, I mean, staying on at least for now, see what more value they can get.
Budo, he's going to be able to get back to his team. Oh, Gagora goes forward, needs to stun, going to stay alive. Oyo might not be so lucky. No, it's Nexus first casualty in the fight. But Nova are actually on the point right now. Talon coming back in now. It is a decent wall, but this is not really kills coming through. Now Bubukai is down, and Nova MS, it feels like they're constantly behind the 8-ball here. They're just losing members. I'm reminded of the latter half of Nepal.
And now this is becoming problematic because Talon Esports have saved all their ultimates, all 6 about to come online. Yeah, now Crazy S does have a Blizzard, but is it really going to be that good? It's actually one of the easier ultimates to get eaten up by a defense matrix, so Gagora has to do a lot of work, and even if he doesn't, they just have so much to work with. I mean, Sound Barrier, Transcendence, the Blizzard, likely not going to do too much.
That's an interesting
That's gone. It's gone.
It got eaten. That was really the kind of Hail Mary play they were going for. And they've committed a lot just to go to the point. They do at least get Bashful, but now they're going to get caught, and all the ultimates Talon have stored up. Nice wall, though, to stop the self-destruct. Nearly got a bump up. but not quite. Now the counter grab. There's the Transcendence from NN. Nova MS, they really need this fight to work. Double
Shatter!
Big Shatter from Muse. Can they follow up? Ooh, they get onto Crazy S, but he goes Ice Cube. Bubukar's down though, and Bashful's rejoin the fight. So now no numbers advantage for Nova, and the Earth Shatter from Nexus not getting mileage. Talon looking poised to push this over the 90% threshold, and Nova MS still unable to make headway.
And this is going to be a cap out. This is going to be Talon Esports walking up to the spawn now. Nova MS are not even going to be able to touch in time.
You gotta believe
no
it.
one's even really alive.
Shut out, my boy, and that is how you turn it back around. Suddenly, we are all tied up once again. We go to the ultimate decider. We go all the way to the bottom of the series, and who has still got gas in the tank for Nightmark?
And I think this is going to go exactly how Nepal went. You look at that 2-1, you look at the entire series, it's a 2-1 in terms of how the map sort of went out there as well. It's just been totally back and forth. You have teams owning a complete map, and then the complete opposite becomes true later on. I think right now, even within Lee Jung, it's been semi-true. The entire series has just been Talon Esports completely taking control. Nova MS completely taking control. On Night Market, I believe this one is going to go pretty 50-50.
This is what I like to see out of Nova MS though. No mate, no nonsense. Sticking with what works. Keep one on the Sombra. Talon on the 3-3.
Staying true to their identity here as well, staying on to what works. They know that they have won with this composition. They know they just won with this composition. They see there's not going to be a lot of resistance. They know there's a Sombra, so they go on the point early.
There's the rotation. One already at 30%. Nova MS looking to see if they can fight their way in.
One's on an angle right now, gets a hack on Kokora.
Nice
should be go time.
Oh, but he's low. Crazy S as well. Talon Esports are going to press forward, but a bit too far forward. They eat too much damage, and the shield's now down and out for the count. That means Nova can press on in. They're going to pick up the tanks, and the rest is history. Nova MS poised to cap.
So important as well that Nova MS were able to contest before the cap came through. Talon Esports came close, but Nova just dived in as they were losing their own health, as they were starting to pick up a few kills as well. Now they get the early lead in so many different departments. One is about to get this EMP, and they are ticking up in progression.
And this is where they were able to kickstart such a powerful lead on Gardens when they get those ultimates up, when they start cycling through them. Need I remind you how it went on Gardens?
And one is so slippery as well. You can see that Talon Esports nearly caught him. Bashful with the stun. Didn't quite hit. If it does, probably goes down. EMP is imminent right now as we tick to 30%.
But not there just yet. Indeed, no ultimates just yet. If Talon get an early kill, then they're in business.
Oh, stun!
Oh, huge stun! That is absolutely enormous. And those other ultimates not quite there just yet, but now they come up on rotation. Shatter's the first one. Grab is the next. Where's the answer? Innen's got Transcendence, but they still get Bashful. Jervis down, CQB as well. And it's all traded back and forth. Even Stevens, but now with Oyo down, can they get Innen? Yes, they can. Muse goes down, and finally Nova MS pull ahead because Nexus took a fraction of a second longer to die, and Nova MS hold on.
Oh, Bashful nearly saved that one for Talon Esports. Such an amazing play. The stun coming through, reading where one was going to be. It really hurts to see the EMP not come through, but both teams using Graviton Surge. Nova MS coming just slightly ahead on that one, but because the cap didn't change hands, we are now sitting at nearly 70%. Nova are about to finish this one up.
And like I said, Nexus, fraction of a second longer to die. A little bit more damage in the fight as well. Both Reinhardt's committed to Shatter, but Nexus has another.
Look at the EMP, nearly there, 80+%. Both teams have sound barrier.
Self-destruct lobbed in, will not find anything. Crazy yes, stunned out, goes down, but counter shatter is a big one. Where's the follow-up? Can they get anything? Muse, he had a far better shatter, and that 6-man EMP is not going to do much for you, unfortunately, when all your members are flat on their back, rounding the bench to 90%. Talon barely keep themselves in it.
That's the last stand of Talon right now. If they lose a single fight, this has got to go to 99 for Nova MS, and likely the victory, the entire match victory to Nova MS. It has to be a perfect defense now. They finally have some momentum. They finally forced a reset. The EMP is gone. It's going to take a while for Nova MS to get back in action, and in that time, Talon need to get something done. Unless
Nova MS just get a kill. Unless they get a pick, they finish someone off.
That's not what you want to see if you're Talon Esports right now. Can't afford to give away members for free. You need to give something back, and you take something back if you give something away.
Oh, yo. Barely staying alive, needs a Transcendence, nearly has one. One nearly at an EMP as well.
That's the timer right now. That's the ticking time bomb, because once we do have EMP, should be walking in. They're walking in early.
They just go ahead and commit it in. They get Muse. That's nearly picked. Grab does come out. Where's the follow-up? Oh, you had Transcendence in is
available.
His. That means one can EMP for free. Oh, he's looking to go in. There it goes out onto the remaining members, and they all crumble under Nova MS. Oh man, translocates back forward. No bump for you, CQB. That also means he's not going to be able to hang around to try forcing overtime. 95%.
4 seconds remaining. Talon Esports need to die for this one.
Can they even get this? They're not going to touch it. Nova Monster Shield, the giant slayers that they are, after a shaky performance last week, they are back on top.
I don't know, man. Giant Slayers, I think they are the Giants at this sort of stage. I mean, they're just killing other Giants if that's the case right now, because they have entered the zone where they are really fighting for first place right now. The second ever reverse sweep so far this season in the third full 5-map series for this specific team. And Talon Esports will know what it is like to lose, at least at this point, their first loss of the season.
And we said after last week, it only gets harder from here for Talon. They had a little bit of an early blow against one of the other top teams in Cyclone Coupling, but it was a weaker Cyclone Coupling. This is the real strength of the pool here. This is what you're going to be coming up against in playoffs. This is what you've got to beat if you want that seed into semifinals. Tonight, Talon couldn't do it, but I guarantee you they're going to learn some lessons from this and come back strong.
Yeah, it's just like Nova did, right? Nova came in with a very shaky performance versus AVRL. Didn't think it was going to give a lot of confidence going into the match versus Talon Esports, but they proved everyone wrong. A reverse sweep is not easy to do. The sort of mental fortitude that's required is insurmountable. I mean, it's just insane what they need to be able to do that, and multiple times as well, not even their first rodeo.
Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this team is just... It's been so incredible to see them from start. I mean, I don't even want to say to finish, because they're nowhere near done here. Like I said, once upon a time, this is a team that came in with no real professional experience behind them. They didn't have...
There's so much now.
Yeah, they didn't have, they didn't have a house. They didn't have anything. They were just 6 friends who, studied and played in their spare time, and then they made a semi-finals at the end of that same year. Now they're looking poised to make another very strong playoffs run. A part of me is watching this match feeling like we just got a preview for a finals.
It possibly could be. I mean, there's so many teams right now in this tournament among the top 6 or even top 5 that are making a strong case to be finalist teams. I mean, Cyclone Coupling are looking fantastic right now. Global Esports have looked fantastic in previous weeks. Talon Esports were looking absolutely dominant up until this match. Nova, well, they've been just kind of up and down, up and down. You don't know what version of them you're going to get, but you always know that if the game goes late, and it will, they always have the opportunity to bring things back on. Every single team, when they get to map 3 against Nova MS, even if they are 2-0 up, they have to think, this is probably going to be the hardest map of the entire series, even though they're at match point.
Yeah, that one there, that's the real Nova. Like, that's the one you have to beat if you actually want to win the series, right? That's kind of what it feels like. Even if you don't beat them until that very last map, or maybe map 4, however it works, that's the level that you have to beat Nova at. And a part of me does still wish we could see Nova start a series at that level, but look, right now this has been enough to beat some of the best teams in the region so far. Yeah. That's plenty.
Yeah, and we've had some fantastic